reaffirming his commitment to greater APC.
No more crown from Abuja downwards. Let the people know this and appreciate it, that they are in charge of their constituencies and they are in charge of the party. Then they will, without any incentives, come forward and defend the party at every level. And then we who are leading the party will feel secure and comfortable.
The president used the opportunity to take pride in the achievements recorded so far by his administration and urged the nation's elites to take the part of honor by showing appreciation.
You who are in the field, in charge of your constituencies, you have to make the effort to convince the elite to please give us the due relevance and respect we deserve by working so hard with limited resources.
You are a man, a special human being who God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, uses whenever Nigeria is in trouble. Thank you for making us proud. Thank you for always being there for the party and for the members of our party.
Less than half of what they were getting, and he was able to bail all the states out, do the modest development in both railway and roads in the states, and to continue to make the economy flourish. You have to compare our situation with Venezuela, Angola, and other countries that are dependent on oil to see how best Baba has performed.
Some of the governors present described the registration and revalidation exercise as a worthwhile undertaking.
All stakeholders in the party and teaming millions of supporters across the country are happy with this opportunity to demonstrate their love for our party.
We will make sure that all our party followers are on board going forward.
The exercise will take place in the wards across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT beginning on Tuesday next week. In Daura, Katsina State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
After 13 years of legal tussle, the Court of Appeal in The Hague, Netherlands, has ruled in favor of farmers from Bayelsa and Rivers states against the Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, over the pollution of their lands and destruction of their livelihoods. Robinson Deratede reports.
In 2008, the Environmental Rights Action Friends of the Earth, on behalf of 4 farmers from Oruma in Bayelsa, Goy in Rivers, and Ikota Daudo in Akwa Ibom states, sued the Shell Petroleum Development Company SPDC and the parent company Royal Dutch Shell at The Hague over the destruction of their means of livelihood as a result of oil spillage. Reacting to the judgment, the acting director, Environmental Rights Action Nigeria, Chime Williams, says the court overturned the lower court judgment, which was in favor of SPDC, and ruled that SPDC was liable for the spillages and should pay the victims compensations, as well as take measures to ensure that no further spills occur in the area. The court, however, deferred ruling on the case of Ikota Daudo in Akwa Ibom State, which SPDC appealed against to give room for further evidence.
A global standard has been set that the oil companies will not only be held responsible for the destruction they cause to any of their host communities, but will also be reprimanded.
This judgment should not go further than Shell to admit and then come and pay me the compensation.
Responding, spokesperson for SPDC, Michael Adanda, expressed dissatisfaction over the outcome of the judgment, which he said was as a result of sabotage and cruel theft, noting that SPDC is committed to operating safely and protecting the local environment. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has restated that Nigeria is safer under the present administration than it was in 2015. The minister stated this in Abuja while reacting to reports from some quarters that Nigeria is no longer safe under the present administration. Anthony Forson reports.
Gone are the days when suicide bombers will casually stroll into city centers across the country and detonate their explosive devices and fizzle into thin air or commit suicide in the process. It was a period that faithfuls were frisked before accessing worship centers. Checkpoints with armed men adorned roads. Even at that, daredevil suicide bombers were not deterred. Today, the reverse is the case, as sanity seems to have taken over the situation, as President Muhammadu Buhari has consistently assured Nigerians of his commitment to the safety of lives and property. Maintaining his stance that Nigeria is safer today before 2015 when this administration came into power, Information and Culture Minister went down memory lane, chronicling how members of Boko Haram had a field day detonating bombs across the length and breadth of the country.
Police stations, they used to just sack them at will. So the fact that they used to attack, even army divisions, they attacked. But that kind of thing is not happening today. So when we have an occasional reversal, then the media will play it up. That's not fair. But that's not fair. We cannot going to humiliate our military. They are dying daily for us. I know that many people from the northeastern part of Nigeria will tell that with all the challenges we are facing today, by far better than 2012, 2011, 2015, when we could not even go home.
With the change of guards at the top hierarchy of the nation's armed forces, the minister says he is optimistic of a change of tune in combating crimes and criminality at all levels. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Worried by the spate of insecurity in some parts of Lagos, particularly the Ikorodu division, the State Police Command has engaged stakeholders to proffer solutions to the daily challenge of threats to life and property. Jesuton Moses reports.
Reports of cultist activities and land grabbing is a recurring phenomenon in Ikorodu axis. Traditional rulers and political leaders from the axis are worried that the situation has affected the community's reputation negatively. They used the platform of the security town hall meeting with the police commissioner Hakim Odumosu to make inputs on how to better police the axis.
I cannot continue to watch the situation like that. That is why we sought the assistance of the Commissioner of Police.
What we are waiting for is a commitment, to all these suggestions and all these boys who are committing trouble. Riot Act now have been read out to them.
Rumuzu reassured residents of the axis of improved policing, stressing that harder times await criminal elements in the zone.
Feasibility police will come in, community police now will be improved on, and all those that are creating activity, definitely want the police now, they should please relocate or be good citizens of the state. Issues affecting flow of traffic were also discussed as part of efforts to ensure security in the area. In Lagos, Jesuton Moses, NTA News.
Well, let's take you to Cross River State, where the State Police Command has arrested 4 suspected criminals for operating a factory where local weapons are manufactured in Uya, a community in Akankpa local government area of Cross River State. Achebe Mbasi reports that the suspects, I should say, were paraded alongside 8 others also nabbed for alleged kidnapping, child trafficking, armed robbery and cultism.
Items recovered from the factory are 1 improvised explosive device, 10 bull guns, 2 long locally made guns, 6 fabricated double revolver guns, 10 expanded cartridges, 20 fabricated long pipes for guns construction, 3 small bottles containing tools, 2 filing machines, 2 tables vice, saw blade, 6 iron files, 5 pieces of scrapped items and 5 barrel pipes. Also, on a tip-off, the operative of the anti-cultism squad nabbed 4 suspects in Calabar for alleged trafficking in children.
All those who are plying the role of Calabar Metropolis with unregistered vehicles, they should be ready for our work, because we'll chase them and then we'll catch them and we'll make them face the wrath of the law.
Confessing to the crime, the 23-year-old mother says after receiving the sum of 70,000 naira from the buyer, She refused to hand over the baby to her, which was contrary to the initial agreement.
They searched everywhere, they did not see anything. So the only thing they see was this and this cap and this concussion.
Cross River State Commissioner of Police, Sikiru Akonde, assures that the police will not rest on its hours until the state is purged from all forms of crimes. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
The Corps Marshal Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi has again called on the public to leverage on the availability of the Flagit anti-corruption app to report unprofessional and professional conduct exhibited by FRSC staff for punishment and reward where applicable. The Corps Marshal made the call while reviewing the impact of the app on the general conduct of the staff. He noted that as a public institution, the management of the Federal Road Safety Corps has made several conscious attempts to ensure zero tolerance to corruption that has impacted positively on service delivery. Oyeyemi stated, among others, that just on Thursday, that's 28th January 2021, 3 members of FRSC patrol team were reported to have exhibited a great deal of professionalism in prompt rescue operations along Lugbe Airport Road in Abuja, where they swiftly rescued and revived a crash victim who was in a deadly state. In return for representing the Corps well, the 3 of them have been given cash rewards and commendation letters as motivation to do more. And that's the first segment of Weekend File. Let's take some messages. When we return, the second segment begins.
Mommy is back! Guess what's inside? Chocolate. Biscuit. Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
Cavity? What cavity?
Let me show you.
Most toothaches are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity.
It also has natural mint for minty fresh breath every day.
Mom, can I eat chocolates now?
As long as you brush with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
This is the Wilson family last week. This is the Wilson family this week. What's changed?
What?
The Wilson family got maximum entertainment for less, and now they're closer than ever. Your family can be too.
How does this work?
With world-class international channels that put the quality back in your quality time.
That's what I'm talking about.
GoTV Max will bring you and your family closer in no time. So upgrade to GoTV Max for only 2,999 naira today. Make una enjoy. GoTV. Love it.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
I bring you wonderful news. The Village Headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire.
Teacher no more. I fell wa nkan je. Teacher no more. I fell wa nkan je. Omo ni resiti ne.
Ajé
there go na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged yes school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders. Hey, we are trying, shall sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, I talk with that now.
Not for me.
You want to make a die?
Not for me because of Pamio.
You're still watching Weekend File with me, Joseph Johnson. And this segment takes off from the southeastern part of the country for an assessment on the efforts made by the federal government in the area of road rehabilitation and construction. And Chineye Woye in Enugu was on the field for this purpose.
Presently, about 69 roads and bridges spread across 5 states in the southeast zone are either completed or in different stages of completion. Thanks to the funding sourced by the present administration from budgetary allocations, the Sukuk Bond, and the Presidential Infrastructure Fund.
This is the Enugu-Port Harcourt Dual Carriage Road. It is one of the road projects awarded by the federal government to make road travels more comfortable.
In short, they are doing a very good job. The work is over standard. I have not seen a kind of road like this before. I commend the President of the Federation.
The way I'm seeing the construction, they are doing their best.
Other roads and bridges undergoing rehabilitation include the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, the Lokmanta Umuahia Tower, the 40-kilometer Ozala Abugo Ihuobara Road, the Nsuka Obalafo Ikem Nkalagu Road, the Oji Achi Mako Ogu Ndabo Road, among others.
This is obviously the worst section of this road. This road was officially handed over to a new contractor for complete rehabilitation, and you can see them working at the moment.
One of the things we did on this road is we changed the pavement design, and that's to make it carry more loads.
Some of these road projects, which were delivered before the Yuletide in 2020, helped reduce the high volume of traffic usually associated with Christmas and New Year celebrations. In Enugu, Chineye Nwoye, NTA News.
From the northwest, Dalhatu Abdullahi in Sokoto gives us an update on the state of the federal roads in that axis.
Some of the road projects being carried out by the federal government in the zone have been completed while others are ongoing. The completed projects include the phase 1 of the rehabilitation of the 130-kilometer Sokoto-Tambol Jega Road. The ongoing projects include the 45-kilometer Balekurdula to Niger Republic border road, the 29-kilometer Kajijjabu Guranye Takwachi Road, and the 26-kilometer Sabon Birnis Ululu to Maradi Junction Road. However, the 94-kilometer Jega Kwanar Sanagi Kebi to Gumi Road project has been awarded some months ago, linking Kebi, Sokoto, and Zamfara states. Advanced signages have also been installed along all the federal roads, while some emergency maintenance works along Sokoto-Gusau Road and the Sokoto Western Bypass Road have been completed, while some are ongoing.
Present government, they have really been trying very much for Sokoto State.
Meanwhile, motorists plying the Zaria-Gusau-Sokoto Highway are appealing to the federal government to ensure total reconstruction of the busy road for safer movement. The Tambol Jega Kontagora Makera Road has also reached over 93% level of completion.
I am very delighted to see this development.
This development has enhanced the free movement of people, goods, and stabilized the cost of transportation. In Sakwato, Dalatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Calabar-Ugeb-Katsina-Allah Highway is not left out in the list of roads receiving attention, and Paul Lebel was on fact-finding mission.
The 330-kilometer Calabar-Ugeb-Katsina-Allah Federal Highway has 3 segments: Calabar-Udupani, Udupani-Akpet, and Akpet-Ikam, being handled by different contractors. A drive through the various phases of rehabilitation showed that some parts have been completed, while work is ongoing between Ojukbani and Akankpa axes. This is how some road users in the different segments express their excitement on the current condition of the road.
Before this time, this road was so bad. I'm doing a very nice job here, and we enjoy it. And now you can drive from here to Obudu, you have no problem.
You can drive all the way from Calabar now to Ikom without having any scratch on the road.
Formerly, I can tell you how we're suffering from Ikom to Calabar, but as I speak to you now, the road is still under construction. They have worked it from Ikom or from Abuja to Biase.
Though the people also appeal for expansion of the road, construction of flyover at Ugeb, among others, the Federal Controller of Works in Cross River State has this to say.
When government is building a road like this, the advantage, the economic benefit trickle down to the bottom, and everybody gains.
As funds are made available and other external factors favorable, the promise is that the entire stretch of the road will be completed within the 30-month stipulated deadline. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Time now to bring in the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola San. Minister, you're welcome to Weekend File.
Good evening and Happy New Year.
Thank you, and same to you. All right, let's start off our conversation this way. Where are we now in terms of federal road rehabilitation and construction?
Well, I think that the first point to make is the word that keeps occurring in the reports that you have just shown. Completed, completed, completed. That was a recurring word by people who were actually at the site. And I think this is an important point to make because I have read, seen a lot of people, some of our critics, and we welcome them, who have not visited the road, who have even said, oh, we haven't completed anything. So our roads are long, hundreds of kilometers, but we are completing them in phases because we can't shut them down. And as we finish one phase, we open up to traffic. Because the ideal thing in a construction site is to close down, but we can't close down. Hundreds of thousands of vehicles, commuters depend on those routes for their daily livelihood. And that's a big challenge on its own, apart from resources. The other point to make is that it is actually the users of the road who are expressing satisfaction with what has been done. And they are optimistic with what they see, that it can only get better. That is nation building because it is not a light bulb event. It is a continuing undertaking. And this is all what President Buhari has been saying all along, that change takes time, results take time to manifest. When we issue policy, we award contract, there is distance between the policy, the contract, and the result. But in between all of that too, you will see what our controllers are pointing out. Livelihoods are being earned because all those your footages show people working, laying asphalt, people who supply them, and so on and so forth. So that's how an economy is built. in terms of dimensioning what is going on now, we are undertaking 13,000 plus kilometers of construction, rehabilitation, and repair of the 35,000 kilometers nationwide. And that is a lot of work. And just as the president pointed out today, this is happening in spite of the limited resources. And I've said time and again that we have done a lot more with a lot less. So work is going on. We are optimistic. We're inspired by what we see, but clearly we are not done yet.
Of course, that is certain. But about a year ago or so, NTA was part of the team that went with you to Niger State for roads inspection, where you argued that Nigerian roads are not as bad or deplorable. In fact, you debated on the word deplorable, so much so that it was beginning to make sense in your perspective, as people portrayed them. Is this still your position at the moment?
Well, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. The people who use the road have spoken on your show. They have spoken to your reporters. You went out, you compiled the reports, and that's a verdict of the road users. And if you eat dinner and they ask you whether it tasted well or tasted badly, you who ate it will be in the best position to say you had a good meal or a not so good meal. But as I said, we haven't finished. And the real impact of this president and this administration's commitment to rebuilding, expanding, and upgrading Nigeria's infrastructure will fully fructify as we go along. Clearly, we have made it better than we met it, and that is the minimum that really should be expected of any serious government like ours. Improving on what we made. Nobody finishes the work, but we intend to run as fast and as hard as we can before we leave office.
Okay, Minister, let's talk about maintenance culture, because poor maintenance culture, many say, has always been the challenge with Nigerian infrastructures. Where are we in that regard? And our defaulters, especially trailer operators who overload their trucks above the approved tons, penalized?
Well, first of all, I must, with respect, disagree with you about maintenance being a culture. It's not a culture, it's an economy. And I say this with the benefit of what I know and what obtains in the global economy, especially in the construction industry. Those who know will tell you that in the construction industry as a whole, design, construction, and governance account for roughly about 30% of the employment opportunities for those in that industry. Almost 70% is really where the jobs exist in maintenance. So Nigeria must develop a maintenance economy. And the federal government, I think in 2019, approved a proposal that our ministry made to start a federal public assets maintenance program, starting with our federal secretariat, starting with bridges, starting with roads. So all the federal secretariats in Nigeria now are under one maintenance contract or the other, and they're employing people, and the impact is trailing down. People buying cleaning agents, polish, bleach, detergent, soap, varnishes, paint, plugs, all sorts of things. And that is what drives small and medium businesses who make them, and people also getting work. So plumbers, bricklayers, electricians, carpenters. There's hardly a building you go to where there is no fault, where there is a broken window is somebody's job. A bad switch, a bad bulb is somebody's job. So if you create the economy, you create work. And similarly, as you will see across the nation now, we're undertaking maintenance of 37 bridges nationwide, from Bauchi to Koto Cafe to Kaduna to Kanu to Rivers, the Isaac Boro Bridge to Lagos, the Third Mainland Bridge, the Cool Bridge, and so on and so forth. And this is creating a lot of work. Unknown to some people, we are employing divers, even on the existing River Niger bridge, who go under to go and weld, to go and paint, to protect the reinforcement from corroding, to go and rejacket the pillars with reinforcement. So again, this is creative work, but it's not yet enough. We want to see every public building, and from there encourage every private building owner to paint, to repair annually. This is the road to employment.
Thank you very much, Minister. Let's just pause for now and take some messages. When we return, the conversation continues. Thank you. All right, let's take some messages now.
JJ has always been my father's hero. So this year, I wanted to do something really special. If I could just talk to JJ, I'm sure he would remember Dad. Mom says never give up.
Hello JJ, it's me Victor. My dad's birthday is coming up soon and I want to surprise him.
And she was right. I have been looking for you everywhere. Please help me.
Hi Samuel, happy birthday, it's JJ. Happy birthday to my man.
My dad is my hero, but now JJ is too.
Glow, the best data plans in town. Find your first. Dial *777#. Glow.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
This is Weekend File. The federal government infrastructural renewal drive currently has major roads and bridges in Lagos undergoing rehabilitation or reconstruction, to put it mildly. Also, the entire stretch of federal roads within the state have become construction zones, although this has expectedly resulted in constant traffic gridlock. Dr. Nogoyemi reports.
Lagos has a total of 70 roads and 31 bridges constructed and maintained by the federal government. They form a larger part of the road network within the state. Rehabilitation and reconstruction works on these roads to cater for the high number of vehicles that ply the roads daily is essential.
It's a bit better compared to the last year. You know, we have two parts where they divide. At times we spend a lot of time in the traffic, so it draws so many things back. So since they opened it, the road is very free.
Some of the roads and bridges currently undergoing rehabilitation and reconstruction in Lagos are Ota Abeokuta Expressway, Lagos Badagry Expressway, Ikorodu Shagamu Road, Apapa Oshodi Oworonshoki Expressway, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and the Outer Marina to Eco Hotel Road.
Outer Marina project is on course. The contractor is on site. As we are talking, they have laid asphalt almost about 3 kilometers out of about 8 kilometers which they have to lay.
The Third Mainland Bridge, Eco Bridge Phase 2 repairs, and Obalende Bridge are also notable of mention. Work on Section 1 of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has reached 45% completion, with laying of asphalt at advanced stages and launching of crossbeams for the flyover and interchanges have begun. In Lagos, Dotun Okunyemi, NTA News.
From the Northwest, stakeholders say road projects by the federal government fulfill the vision of promoting social and economic well-being of the people. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukung puts together the situation report.
From Kano, Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that communities of Rimingulu and Tamawa are happy with the completion of 6-kilometer road. 3-kilometer Wudil, Utai, Achika, Darki, Jagrawa Road, also in Kano, has prospects of providing linkages for agricultural development. Another from Jigawa State, Habib Hussein reports that motorists flying Hadeja, Krikasama to Unguru Highway enjoy smooth ride after government reconstructed the route. Similarly, federal government completed 72.2 Jigawa to Kano route awarded in 2010 as stakeholders look forward to start of work linking Jigawa and Niger Republic awarded last year.
I have a lot of challenges before. So now in the instance of completing this way, Alhamdulillah.
In the past years, this road became death trap. It claimed thousands of lives. And it posed serious danger to the life and property of the people of this particular area.
Work on the ongoing over 350-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna-Kano dual carriageway is recording steady progress, with motorists applauding the quality of work. More roads linking Sokoto from Zaria and axis of Sokoto, Tambuwal and Kontagora, as well as Sokoto-Ilela, have been rehabilitated. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukung, NTA News.
And motorists and commuters plying the Abak-Ekbarakwa-Akwa Ibom State axis of the Port Harcourt Federal Road are putting the pains behind as reconstruction work progresses. Here is Clemens Barikui with a report.
The Abak-Ekbarakwa Road, measuring about 37 kilometers, traverses through 4 local government areas, and it is a major gateway to Akwa Ibom State from Rivers State. The road, a single carriageway, before now had been a nightmare for users due to its deplorable state, a situation that forced motorists and other commuters to seek for alternative routes when going to Rivers State.
The road been spoiled well. The people have no way pass. Even this truck, them when they pass, they go just remain inside the road. So the thing been disturbed well because no vehicle they pass here. So the thing, no market, everything just they dump.
All these have become history thanks to the intervention work by the federal government, which began in 2018.
So far, the entire of our backside has been overlaid with drainages. The surface dressing is still ongoing. Oron and partly has been overlaid.
I appreciate the federal government. The federal government have done very, very well.
The people are hopeful that the contractors will hasten up and complete the remaining sections of the road for a smooth and safe ride. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
All right, I still have the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Rajafashola San, with me via Zoom. So let's continue our discussion, Minister. Report says you had on Friday, 29th of January, received the outline business case certificate of compliance for 12 federal road corridors for concession by the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Agency. Let's talk about that. What does it imply, and what are the affected 12 federal roads?
Well, okay, I will start this part of our conversation from maintenance where we stopped and tie the pieces together because these things don't stand in isolation. First, when President Buhari says he wants to rebuild Nigeria's economy He wants to create work. You see what is happening on the road. You see some of the roads you showed also have lane marking. Again, that is creating work for an industry that had really almost died if he hadn't died. So paint manufacturing, special paint manufacturing is beginning to gather speed in Nigeria. The signage industry is beginning to thrive again because you saw all those signages. And so there's a total top to bottom impact in this area. Now, in terms of maintenance, let me quickly make this point that after we finish a road and it goes through its defects liability period, it is then handed over to FEMA, the maintenance agency. So FEMA maintains the road, and just last year, the government approved 192 different contracts towards the tail end of last year, and you will see the impact of that work across the length and breadth of Nigeria, preparing us for the rainy season that will soon come. So what we're looking at again is that as we're talking completion, we're talking resources. So government is now looking at how private sector can come in. So that is where that HDMI certificate that you were talking about concessioning those 12 routes comes in. There will be an aggregate of about 1,900 and something routes, kilometers, of road network. There are 12 in the first instance, and they are spread across each of the geopolitical zones. Just as your report has covered all the 6, we want everybody to be involved, nobody left behind, as to see what the private sector can afford. So that will involve either concessioning already completed routes or transferring roads still under construction to private sector to pay off the contractors and also then finish the work and make over a period. It would also see better governance, accountability, and better quality of service. Advertising will benefit from that. We will see better resource ambulances because we want the consortia to now come with their ambulance managers, to come with their towing vehicle management, to come with their toll plaza management companies, to come with those with way bridges, which takes us to the question of Axle Road abuse that you talked about, overloading. The president has approved the Axle Road regulations. Now is enforcement, and we think that we can resource this effectively to the private sector to do, and in that way also stimulate work. We also expect to see rest houses. If you drive on long journeys, ideally between 3 to 4 hours, you should pull over and rest. But because there are no rest houses, this perhaps makes it difficult for drivers to stop, and then they drive longer hours. Sometimes they fall asleep, accidents happen. These are the things we expect to see. Service stations, cafeteria, nourishment. So again, it just ties in the whole economy. The agro produce, we expect that we can encourage farmers to then work together, provide proper farmhouses where you can buy fresh fruits on the way instead of parking by the roadside to do that. But this is the economy we see coming ahead, and we're taking a further step in procuring that, and then we'll go to the Federal Executive Council, after which we'll advertise for bids.
Okay, Minister, could you also talk us through, are there other funding options you're possibly exploring in financing the construction and maintenance of federal roads and, of course, the expected gains?
Well, I could not speak too highly enough of the support of the president for all ministries, and particularly my own ministry. So apart from the budget, the president has inaugurated the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund to assist us to execute our work. Most of our contractors can do the work. It's the funding now that is the case. These problems were there before this administration came. They were there at the time Nigeria was earning $100+ per barrel of oil. They were there at the time when Nigeria took $12 billion out of this economy to go and settle debts instead of investing in infrastructure. So that is one. There's the Sukuk. Then there's the tax credit infrastructure scheme, which is being used to build the Obajana-Kaba Road, the Bodo Boni Bridge, and also the Papa Owenshoki Road. And there are other options being considered, and as they mature and come in, we will deploy them into infrastructure, which is really the way to use our money, save by investing in infrastructure and drive the economy.
Okay, Minister, I just want to ask this in terms of states maintaining federal roads. Is the federal government still giving a go-ahead to states to, continue in that aspect to be refunded later?
Certainly no. Those are the existing directives. And as you highlighted in the beginning of your report, the states also have their own roads. And which state has finished all its roads? And Mr. President is saying that I met debts owed by my predecessors to states for intervention by states on federal roads. I thank you very much. I will do the honorable thing. I will pay those debts, which he has largely finished paying substantially. Those are the monies we borrowed. So when people say we are borrowing money, it's partly to pay debts owed by previous administration to state governments so that they can use their resources to then go and fix their roads. Rivers was one of those beneficiaries, and you see what Governor Wike and others are doing with some of their resources. So President now says, you face your road, let me face my road, let's build Nigeria, everybody focus on his responsibilities. But I understand sometimes that those federal roads can become very critical to the quality of life in some states, but it's a very difficult place to be, and we have to continue to work with states to find solutions.
All right, Minister, just your final thoughts in terms of speaking to Nigerians. What would you say to Nigerians in view of what the federal government is doing in this regard?
Well, my final thoughts would be that infrastructure is so key. We have underinvested in infrastructure in almost the last 30 years. And this president, this administration is committed to bridging that gap. And you will see it not only in roads, you will see it in rail under Governor Rotimi Amechi's ministry. You will see it in aviation under Hadi Sirika. This country is completing 5 international airports. I don't know how many African countries have 5 international airports. And this country has also committed to supporting the development of the Lekki port so that we have a big DC port so that we remain and become competitive again, especially now with the African Continental Free Trade Area. So the results will converge sooner rather than later, and all of the pains we have experienced, as those your commuters are saying that it's getting better, last year was better, this year was better than last year. We hope that next year will also be better again, and this is how it will happen. If Nigerians just continue to bear with us, continue to do their duty, continue to also exercise their rights, and continue to challenge us also as they have been, all of these things will become a story for the past.
All right, Minister, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us, and it has been a pleasure speaking with you on Weekend File. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's take sports updates now with Olumide Eguntala.
The Nigerian Basketball Federation has assured sports-loving Nigerians that the team list for the third window of the 2021 AfroBasket qualifiers scheduled for Tunisia will soon be made public. Reports indicate that efforts are in top gear to get more players home and abroad to add to our 25-man list of players already penciled down for the event, slated for the 17th to 21st of February 2021. In another development, Oyo State has signified its desire to host the next edition of the National Sport Festival. The chairman of the State Sports Council, Benga Dewusi, made the intention of the state government known to leaders of the state chapter of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria in his office. The required steps towards a successful hosting bid are being taken with renovation of the various stadia across the state. In football, Akwa United picked the maximum 3 points at stake with a Longo victory over Kano Pillars in one of the matches Day 7 of the Nigeria Professional Football League played on Saturday. Meanwhile, Sunday fixtures indicate that Enyimba will lock arms with Katsina United, while it will be a Southwest derby at Agege Stadium, Lagos, as MFM will play host to Kwara United, among others. Lobby Stars and Abia Warriors match will be beamed live on NTA Network and NTA Sports Channel.
It's another good thing that we now have our football on TV. Kudos to NTA, and I believe there will be improvement in whatever they are doing. The app too is good, and I think is a very welcome development for people to download the app.
And in the CHAN tournament, Morocco will face Zambia while Guinea takes on Rwanda in the last round of the quarter-final matches on Sunday. Elsewhere in Lagos, the coordinators of the First National Principals Cup have visited Igbobi College as part of preparations towards the kickoff of the tournament slated for the 12th of February 2021. Igbobi College will host Government College Kaduna in the tournament opener. Joseph Doshu, among other ambassadors, donated jerseys to the school and encouraged participants to be dedicated, determined and disciplined to emerge champions. With sports update, Olumide Kuntola, NTA News.
And that's Weekend File for tonight. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I'm Joseph Johnson. Remember to always stand with the NTA against rape and rapists. Good night.